The morning light filtered through the stained glass window by our front door, casting a kaleidoscope of purples and yellows across the foyer. It was a strangely vibrant pattern, almost mocking the chaos unfolding just steps away. My husband, Daniel, lay sprawled on the living room floor, his breath shallow and ragged, his eyes fluttering half-open. Sweat beaded on his forehead, trickling down his temples, while his left arm twitched violently as if it had a mind of its own. In our 26 years together, it never heard the guttural, primal sounds that rushed from his throat that day. "My name's Ellen." And in that moment, I knew this wasn't the occasional heartburn H brushed off with a laugh. This was something monstrous, something deadly. I fumbled for my phone and dialed 911, my hands trembling as I watched him writhe. The operator's voice was calm, telling me to monitor his breathing and stay steady until the ambulance arrived. "He's having chest pains," I choked out. "Really bad ones." I could hear the sirens already, a faint wail growing louder, and relief bloomed in my chest like a fragile flower. Help was coming, but then the world tilted into a nightmare I could not have scripted. The ambulance screeched to a stop outside, red lights flashing through the curtains. 2 paramedics leapt out, gear in hand, and bolted toward our porch, only to freeze dead in their tracks. I flung the door open, screaming for them to hurry, but they did not move. At first, I thought something sinister loomed behind me, some unseen threat holding them back. Then I saw her. Margaret Voss, the newly minted president of the Pine Hollow Homeowner Association, stood squarely between the paramedics and my doorstep, clutching a piece of paper like it was a royal decree. She tapped it with a manicured finger, her posture rigid, her voice cutting through the air as I yelled, "Is having a heart attack. Get in here now." The taller paramedic, his badge glinting with the name Carter, stared at me. His face, a mask of bewilderment tinged with dread. He glanced from Margaret's paper to the stretcher behind him and called out, "Mum, we're being told we can't enter without official homeowner association clearance." Short-term. His words sounded absurd, like a line from a bad movie, and I almost laughed, thinking it was a sick joke. I waved them in again, desperation clawing at my throat. But Margaret's voice sliced through once more. "This property is under an access dispute," she declared, prim and unyielding like a school mom scolding a child. "You're not permitted here until it's resolved. These are the rules." Rules? My husband was dying, his face flushed and contorted, his lips turning a faint purple. And this woman was preaching about rules. I screamed back, "Is dying, for God's sake," and lunged forward, ready to drag the paramedics inside by their collars if I had to. But Margaret thrust that paper in my path. Homeowner Association Bylaw 17C, a cryptic little regulation buried in the fine print of meetings no one attended. It claimed that due to an unresolved dispute over our overgrown hedges and a stack of unpaid fines, the Homeowner Association could bar unauthorized personnel from our property. Never in my wildest dreams had I imagined a rule could stop paramedics from saving a life. Yet here it was, a bureaucratic monster wielded with chilling precision. Daniel and I would have fought it ages ago if we'd known, but it had slithered into existence without a whisper of warning. Seconds bled into minutes. One paramedic retreated to the ambulance, presumably radioing for guidance, while I stood there helpless, watching Daniel fade. Were not there laws to override this insanity? Did not emergency responders have carte blanche to act? Apparently not. When the Homeowner Association threatened lawsuits for trespassing on encumbered property, the paramedics wavered. Caught in a legal quagmire, their jobs on the line. I could not process it. My husband needed oxygen, not a debate with a clipboard-wielding tyrant. It was a surreal standoff, an ambulance idling, 2 paramedics paralyzed, and Margaret Voss immovable as stone. While my cries ricocheted off the porch, I dropped beside Daniel, pressing my palm into his chest, mimicking the CPR I'd seen in a long-forgotten class. I wasn't trained, but I had to do something. Keep his airway open, keep him with me. His lips were fully purple now, his gas weaker. Then a miracle. The taller paramedic Carter muttered, "Screw this," and shoved past Margaret. His partner followed, ignoring her shrill threats to call the police. "Call whoever you want," I shrieked, my voice raw and unrecognizable. "Just save him." They slapped an oxygen mask over Daniel's face, started compressions, and hoisted him onto a stretcher. I clung to hope as they worked, convincing myself they'd fix him now that they were here. But at the hospital, hope crumbled. Daniel went into full cardiac arrest on the operating table and was gone within the hour. I did not cry then. Not yet. The world felt brittle, hollowed out, and all I could see was Margaret's smug face, as if Daniel's life was just another agenda item she checked off. The coroner's report later confirmed my gut, a massive heart attack, survivable with immediate care, but the delay likely contributed to his death. That phrase burned into me. Margaret wasn't just a petty dictator anymore. She might be a killer. At 52, I was a widow, and something inside me was about to break. The next morning, I woke at dawn, the house suffocatingly silent. Without Daniel's coffee-making clatter, his presence lingered everywhere. The scuffed tile from a dropped pan, the fridge magnet spelling "Good Morning Sunshine." Grief clawed at me, but fury outpaced it. I opened my laptop and dove into Pine Hollow's Homeowner Association rules. No legal know-how, just rage as my guide. Bylaw 17C had been slipped in 3 months earlier, a vague clause about restricting access during disputes over fees or citations. Our crime? A hedge Daniel planted too close to the property line, sparking a fine wed contested over a botched survey. The Homeowner Association had scheduled a hearing, but apparently they decided to punish us first, twisting unauthorized personnel to include paramedics. It was laughable until it wasn't. Phone calls started. That day, neighbors with condolences, then reporters sniffing a scoop. Our cul-de-sac swarmed with news vans by noon. Margaret issued a statement calling it an unfortunate misunderstanding due to a property dispute, never once saying Daniel's name, just the homeowner. The gall of it lit a fire in me. Then Jim Grayson, a retired lawyer, neighbor with a penchant for flannel and dog walks, showed up, had seen it all from his window. The ambulance stalled Margaret's blockade, and his voice shook as he said, "I could not believe it. This is criminal, Ellen. If you fight, I am in." I did not hesitate. We built a case. Hedge dispute records, the bylaws text, neighbor accounts, that pitiful press release. The paramedics, Carter and his partner, would be key. If we could track them down. I called my son Ryan at his Air Force base, bracing for his pain. "Mom, do it," he said, voice tight. Dad always said, "Stand up when it's hard." That night, I lit one of Daniel's cigars in the backyard, letting the smoke curl into the dust, tears finally spilling as I pictured him joking beside me. Grief would wait. I had a war to wage. 6 months later, we packed a county courthouse. The story now viral after a journalist expose. Letters flooded in, some cheering, others railing against Homeowner Association tyranny. Our civil suit against Pine Hollow claimed wrongful death and negligence. But the DA sniffed criminality. Paramedics Carter and Singh testified they had begged Margaret to let them through, citing Daniel's crisis, yet she doubled down. Emails surfaced Margaret to board members vowing to enforce 17C strictly, so everyone knows we mean business, even if it meant blocking a medical crew. A board member warned of lawsuits. She shot back, "Let them sue. We can't let citations slide." The courtroom gasped. She knew the risk and did not care. Margaret's defense, that she'd only asked for credentials, fell apart under witness after witness on the stand. She faltered, admitting she'd warned of trespassing charges, saying it was their choice to violate it. The jury saw intent, not just negligence. After tense days, they convicted her of involuntary manslaughter, a rare charge that stunned the room. The Homeowner Association paid damages, a hollow sum. Outside, I face cameras, voice steady. Daniel deserved a chance. He did not get it, because an Homeowner Association thought rules trump decency. Justice came, but it can't mend my heart. Pine Hollow, imploded board, resignations, Dissolution. A new group rising with sane rules. I painted our house pale blue, swapped the mailbox for a quirky one. Small rebellions that kept me going. Neighbors split. Some thanked me, others fretted over property values. Ryan came home, hugging me tight on that fateful porch, whispering, "Dad would be proud." A year on, we scattered Daniel's ashes at our fishing lake, the wind carrying him into the dawn. Beatrix's appeals failed, her case sparking homeowner association reforms nationwide. Daniel's death reshaped more than our neighborhood. It challenged a system blind to heartbeats. Love, I learned, can topple even the dumbest rules. And though grief lingers, his spirit fights on in every life spared by what we change. Thank you for watching.